In today's video, we'll be doing a full tutorial on the ThinkorSwim mobile app. We'll cover everything important like how to place a trade on stock and options, customize charts, view balances, and much more. I'll also be posting timestamps down below in the description, so if there's something specific you're looking for, feel free to skip ahead. After logging in, this should be the very first page you see, which is the Watchlist page. Now, the Watchlist page is where you're going to spend most of your time. This is where you're going to place orders, look at a chart, look at the option chain, and so on. But the other tabs we're going to dig into today will be the positions page down here at the bottom, the orders page, and then if you click on the more button, we're also going to dive into the balances page and look at some of the settings you can adjust. Now, starting with the watch list page, let's go ahead and click on it to go back there. From here, you can see the current watch list that we're looking at. Now, if you look in the upper left-hand corner, this watch list is called options. If I wanted to change the watch list that I was looking at, I would simply click on the name. From there at the top, you can see we're looking at all of my personal watch lists. You see all of my dynamic watch lists, which have the little target next to it. You can also see all of my manually made watch lists. And if we wanted to switch to one, we'd simply click on it like indices. And you see all of the companies in there switch to my new watch list. Now, clicking back on the name up in the upper left-hand corner, you can also go back and you can see all of the watch lists made by TD Ameritrade, like top 10. You can also go to public to see all of these, or you can go to by industry and you could just look at materials companies if you wanted to. Now, we'll go back to my pre-made watch list for just a second. Now, from this watch list, you can also customize the headers up here at the top. Right now, you're going to see things like symbol, so telling you the actual stock you're looking at, the last traded price, net change, open, bid ask, and you can also scroll that over to the left and you can see some of the other columns up at the top. Now, right now, this might seem a bit busy. There's a lot of columns up there at the top, so what we're going to do is clean it up a little bit by clicking on the gear icon in the upper left-hand corner. From there, you can see a list of all of my visible columns, and if you scroll down, you can search for columns you want to add. So for example, if we wanted to add dividend yield, we could click in search in all columns. We're going to type in the word dividend, and we're going to add dividend amount by clicking on the little plus icon and hitting done. Now up here at the top, we can see it's been added to our visible columns list. Now, if we wanted to delete something, like let's say we wanted to delete bid and ask, we'll go ahead and click on it and then hit delete, and we'll hit done. Now up here at the top, you can see that bid ask have been deleted, and over on the right-hand side, we have added dividend amount. Now from this page, you've also probably noticed these little icons, like to the right of SPY, you see a little purple circle with 24 in it. Same thing with IWM, a little purple circle, number 24. Those are little identifiers telling you upcoming events that are happening. So in the case of this little purple circle, that's telling you that this stock trades 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. Other icons you might see are going to be like little green circles with a dollar sign, which tell you an upcoming dividend, blue or red circles, which tell you upcoming earnings announcements. And there's a few more, but you'll know when you see it. Now, if you want to look at a chart for a company or place a trade on it, all we have to do is click on the company you want to trade, or up here in the top right-hand corner, this little magnifying glass. If you click on that, you can then type in the symbol of the stock we want to trade. In our case, we'll go ahead and type in target or click on it since it's a recently viewed stock. From here, it immediately takes us to the stock profile page. Up in the top left-hand corner, we can see what the stock last traded for. In Target's case, you can see it traded for $237.31, and it was up 10 cents today. Now, if you look at the current time, 5:14, I'm in Central Time. The market has been closed for about 2 hours now. If we look at the bid and ask, you can see that it's changed slightly in the after hours. It's 237.01 by 237.58, and that is what it's currently trading for in the after hours. Now, let's start with first buying and selling the stock. If we wanted to buy the stock, we'd simply click on the buy button. From there, it's going to take us to the order ticket. On this page, you're going to tell the system what type of order do you want to use, how many shares do you want to buy, what price do you want to pay for it, and when and how long do you want the order good for. So starting from the top, you can see up here it defaults to a limit order. All we have to do is click on the little arrows if we want to change the order type from a trailing stop to a stop limit, market on close, a limit on close, market order, and so on. If we wanted to change the quantity of shares that we're trading, we'll just click on the number right there and we'll type in, let's say we wanted to buy 200 shares, we'll hit done. Now, the next box down, you're going to see it says cost of trade. It's telling us that, hey, if you wanted to buy 200 shares of Target at this price, it's going to cost about $47,462. If we wanted to change how long and when we want the order good for, you're going to see the time in force box, which defaults to day. All we'd have to do is click on the little arrows to the right to change it to good till canceled, or EXT if we wanted to make it for the pre or post market. Or you've also got good until canceled, including the extended session. And again, all we have to do is click on the little arrows to the left or right to change that. From there, if you actually wanted to continue with this trade, we would just hit review in the upper right hand corner. It's going to take you to a little order confirmation box, again telling you, are you sure? Do you really want to buy 200 shares of Target? It's going to cost 47 grand. If from here we actually wanted to place the trade, we would hit send. Since we don't actually want to place it, we'll hit edit, we'll cancel out of this, and it takes us back to Target's stock profile page. Same thing if we wanted to sell or short the stock, we just hit that big red sell button, and from there it takes us to an identical page, just now it's red instead of green, signifying that we're selling the shares instead of buying them. Now going back, we're going to start with the chart page up here in the top left. We simply have to click on that little chart tab and it brings us to a chart for Target. Now in the top left-hand corner, you're gonna see the current time frame. Right now we're using a 20-day, 1-hour chart. So right now this chart is looking back 20 days. Each candlestick represents 1 hour of trading. If we wanted to zoom in on the chart, we just put our 2 fingers on the chart and spread our fingers apart. And that's how we zoom in. If we wanted to zoom out, we just do the exact opposite, put our fingers together and it zooms out. Now, if we wanted to change the time frame entirely, we just click on the letter T in the upper left-hand corner of the chart. It's then gonna give us a list of our favorite time frames. If we wanted to use something other than what's in this list right here, we could just click on time frame and make our own. Let's say we wanted to go to a 10-year chart. It's gonna take us some time, but we can go to 10 years there, and each candlestick right now represents a day. We'll change that to 1 month. And now we're looking at a 10-year chart for Target. Each candlestick represents a month. Now, right now, looking at my chart, you can see the chart up at the top, but you can also see this indicator down here at the bottom, and it tells you it's the RSI. To add indicators or add studies, all you have to do is click on the chart itself. From there, it's gonna bring up a chart menu on the left-hand side. All of the studies or indicators are gonna be on that little beaker icon, second from the top. From there, you can see a list of categories down below. You can click on those, and you can see all of the studies that are in that category. Or if you know the name of the study you're looking for, just click in the study search box, type in the name of the study. Like if we're looking for simple moving average, we'll go ahead and type in the word simple. We see it there, second from the top. We'll click on that little plus icon, and we see it added to our list of studies up here at the top. Now, right now, simple moving average defaults to a 9-day simple moving average. What we're gonna do is edit that by clicking on the little gear icon on the right-hand side. We're gonna change that from a 9 to, in this case, a 200. So go ahead and type that in, hit done. We're also gonna change the color of the line by clicking on that first box up here that's got the color green. We're gonna then click on the color box and we're gonna change it to, we'll do this like the yellowish color. Now we'll go back to study, we'll hit back one more time, and then we'll hit the done button in the upper right-hand corner. And now we can see the 200 period SMA up here at the top of the chart. That's that yellow line that we see there. Now, if we want to delete a study, we just click on the chart again, go back to the studies icon, click on the little minus button, delete, hit done, and now it's been removed from our chart. From here, you can also draw trend lines or price lines, support and resistance, etc. All we have to do is, again, click on the chart, click on the little drawing tool at the bottom. We're going to say new. We're going to say we want to draw a trend line. And just like on the desktop platform, all you have to do is point and click. So if we wanted to draw a trend line, we click here, and we'll click here to draw the trend line. And there we go. We got a trend line right now on our chart. To remove the drawing, we again just click on the chart itself, click on the little pencil icon, remove drawings, click on the drawing we want to remove, and hit remove. Now, looking back up at the top, if you see the tabs up here, you can see chart, news, options, level 2, and profile. We're going to the news tab next. This is where we can see all of the recent news articles that have come out about Target. First, you're going to see the headline of the article itself, then the time that it came out. To read it, just click on it and boom, you got the article right there in front of you. In our case, we're going to go back. News tab, not a whole lot to it, just shows relevant news. Going to the option chain next, this is where we're going to trade options on this page. Now, at the top of the page, you're going to see things like implied volatility, IV percentile, which is actually IV rank on this platform. You're going to see the volume weighted average price and the historical volatility percentile. So right there at the top, you've got some useful info. You've also got columns here like spread custom, strikes all, exchange best. What I tell you is always leave exchange on best, change spread to custom, because yours is going to default to single, so I would automatically change it to custom. And for me, I like to see all available strikes, but if you click on that column right there, you can then change the number of strikes that you're seeing. Maybe we don't want to see so many. We could limit it to only 10 being visible, and now we've only got 10 strikes once we open up an expiration. Now, looking down below in the option chain itself, you can see just like on the platform, it lists off the date of expiration, parentheses next to it is the number of days until expiration, and then on the far right-hand side is the implied volatility. So for example, we could see the 16 July 21 expiration is 23 days out, and it's got a current implied volatility of 20.58%. If we chose that expiration to trade, we'd simply click on it to open up the available options down the middle. Now down the middle, we can see all of the available strikes, 225, 227.5, 230, and so on. We can then see the current bid and ask on the left-hand side for the calls, current bid and ask on the right-hand side for the puts. Now, all of the in-the-money options have the blue shaded background. All of the out-of-the-money options have the black background. Now, to buy options in here, it's just like on the regular desktop. So if you're used to that, this should be an easy crossover. All we have to do when we're buying is click on the asking price. When we're selling, we click on the bid price. So for example, if we wanted to buy the 240 calls, we'd find the 240 strike right here in the middle. We'd then look over on the left-hand side, we'd see the current bid ask is $289 by $3. And when we're buying, again, we click on the asking price, which in this case is $3. We just go ahead and click on that. And we're gonna see that it gets added to the top of our screen. Right up there, you could see that we're buying one of the 16 July 240 calls. Now, if that's all we wanted to do is just buy a 240 call, we'd go ahead and hit next. From there, it's gonna take us to the order ticket, where again, we're just gonna say what type of order we wanna use, how many contracts we wanna buy, what price we wanna pay, and then it gives us the approximate cost of the trade. Now, if we wanted to create a more complex trade, let's go ahead and delete this out of here. Let's say we wanted to create a spread. We wanted to buy a 240 by 245 call spread on target. Well, just like before, we're gonna click on the ask of the 240, so $3, and we're gonna click on the bid of the 245, $1.37. You can see that both of those legs get added to the top of the page. We're buying one of the 240s, selling one of the 245s. When we hit next, it's gonna show us that it's creating a vertical call spread. And you can see that we're doing it for a net debit right now of $1.53. Now, to create other spreads, you would do the exact same thing. Let's say we wanted to create an iron condor. Let's go ahead and delete these out of here real quick. We're gonna do the 230 by 225 by 240 by 245. And you can see that, again, after we hit next, it auto creates an iron condor, all for a net credit of $2.26. The reason we changed that up here at the top from spread single to spread custom was to allow us to create these spreads very easily. Otherwise, if you had this set to spread single, anytime we clicked on a leg, like let's say we clicked on the ask of the 240, $3, it automatically takes us to the order ticket rather than allowing us to create a spread. So again, the first thing I would do is come up here to the top, change this from spread single to spread custom. Just make it easy on yourself. Now on the option chain, you can customize this a bit. You're gonna see that my current columns are bid ask and theta. Now, if you wanna add columns or take columns away, all we have to do is click on the little gear icon up here at the top. From there, you can see a list of all my visible columns. And if we scroll down, we can see all of the available columns to us. Just like before, if we wanted to add some things like delta, gamma, we just hit on the little plus signs. If we hit done, now right now you can't see those other columns we added, but if we scroll over on the page, we can see our new columns there, delta and gamma. So you can really fill up this page with whatever information you find important, but you're only gonna be able to see 3 columns, so really kind of limited on how much you're gonna see at any given time. Now that's all we'll talk about for the option chain for right now. We'll go back up to the top. If we click on the level 2 tab, you're gonna see the depth of the market on this particular stock. So you're gonna see all of the shares that are available. If we click on the profile page, you're gonna see the current revenue streams for this company. You're gonna see a breakdown of how much money they actually make, how they make their money, what their expected growth is, and their profit margins. So this can be a pretty helpful page. It's not available for all stocks, but it will be available for all the big ones. Now, just as a little recap, the way that we access all this information was by going to the watch list page and then either clicking on a stock we wanted to trade like Google, or by typing in the symbol up here in the top right-hand corner where that little search box was at. So in our case, we'll go to Google, G-O-O-G, hit done, and now we're on the stock profile page. Now, as somebody who's been using this app for a very, very long time, this is probably where you're gonna spend the vast majority of your time because this is where you can access all of the information is from the watch list page. This is also where you're gonna be placing your trades. So I would get very comfortable with this page right off the bat because this is where all of your information lies. Now, one more little helpful hint, if you see the current stock price up there in the top left-hand corner, 25.29.23, if you click on the little arrow to the left of that, it's gonna open up even more stock info. Things like market cap, so it'll tell you Google in this case, it's a $1.6 trillion company. It traded 984,000 shares today. You could see things like its open, high, and low for the day. You scroll to the left, you can see even more info. And if you scroll to the left one more time, you got a little customize button. Just like everything else on here, you simply click on the little minus button if you want to delete something, scroll down if you want to add something, and these little lines on the right-hand side let you move it up or down. Now that's gonna be it for the watch list page. The next tab we're gonna talk about is the positions page. So go ahead and click on the second tab down at the bottom, positions. From there, you're gonna see a list of all of our current positions. You're gonna see that I've currently got 100 shares of American Airlines, and you can see that there's nothing in the Apple column, the AMD column, but then you see 12 shares of Amazon. Now, when you don't see any shares listed for something like Apple, but instead see a little arrow to the left, that means I currently hold options on Apple. Now, to see those options, all we have to do is click on the little arrow to the left of the symbol, and then it's gonna give us a drop down of all the options we currently have. Now, right now, you can see all I have is a short 120 put against Apple for the 16th of July. And if you move your eyes to the right, you can see I sold it for 91 cents. It's currently 26.5 cents. I'm up 64 bucks on it right now. And if I scroll to the left, you can see I made 250 on it today, and I'm up 70% overall in this position. Now, if we wanted to close out that option, or if we wanted to close out stock, all we have to do is click on the little box to the left of the symbol. From there, we're gonna say close selected in this case. And from there, it takes us to the order ticket, where again, we're gonna say what type of order we wanna use, how many contracts we wanted to buy back, and what price we wanted to buy it back for. Now you can do the exact same thing for stock. We just click on the little check mark box next to the stock we want to sell. In this case, Amazon. We're going to say close selected. From there, it's going to give us the type of orders we can use. For right now, we're always going to use the very top one, sell 12 shares of Amazon. We're going to say close selected. And again, it takes it to the order ticket. Now going back to the page for a second, just like everything else on here, you're going to see a little gear icon up in the top left-hand corner next to the word symbol. From there, you can adjust all of the columns of information you want to see. And if you want to move them around, you just click on the little lines to the right-hand side and you can drag it up or down. Now, if we scroll to the bottom of this page, if you have a lot of symbols, that might take a second. You can see what my P&L for the day was. I was up $1,000 today. You can see that P&L open, I'm up $24,000 in total on all these positions I'm holding. You can see the current value of your portfolio, and you can see how much money you still have left to spend in the account. Now, there's really not a whole lot to this page. All it does is give you a breakdown of what positions you currently have. Are you up? Are you down? And from here, you can close your open positions. But that's really all there is to it. Now, once you place a trade, you're automatically going to be taken to the order status page, which is down here. It's the fourth tab at the bottom. Go ahead and click on orders. From there, you can see all of your current working orders, or you could go back in time by clicking on all. You can see all of the trades we placed today, or we could go back with the filters and see all the trades we placed in the last 30 days. Now, from the working orders tab, go back there, first tab at the top. If we had a working order, this is where we could either cancel the order outright or cancel and replace it, which is just synonymous for edit the order. Now, since I don't have any working orders right now, let's go ahead and place one just so we can see what it looks like. Now that I placed the trade, you can see it's right here as a working order. Let's say I wanted to cancel that order. All I'd have to do is click on it, then hit cancel order, hit yes, and now that order has been canceled. So again, not a whole lot to this page, but you will come here if you ever need to cancel your orders or edit them slightly, but that's really all this page is for. Now the next thing we're gonna go to is the More button, bottom right-hand corner. You're then gonna go to the Balances page. Now when you come here for the very first time, your page is not gonna look as clean as this. That's because I've deleted a lot of the available items that you can have listed here, and I would do the same if I was you. Now to do that, all you have to do is click on the little gear icon up here in the top right-hand corner. Then what you're gonna do is start deleting all of the columns that are not important to you. The things that are important to me are things like net liquidating value, the total value of my account, cash and sweep, so I can see how much cash I actually have left in the account to spend of my own money, options buying power, so I can see how much money I have to spend on non-marginal securities like options and penny stocks, stock buying power, so I can see how much money I have available to spend on fully marginal stock like Apple or Netflix, day trading buying power, so I can see how much I have available to spend intraday, not that I really ever use it, and then total commissions and fees year to date, so I can see how much I've actually paid TD Ameritrade so far. Now from that page, like I told you before, this is where you're gonna see all of your available balances, so it's gonna be a really important page for you to come to, especially if you have a margin account. Now from the More button, you can also adjust some of your settings. So we're gonna click on More, go to Settings in the lower left-hand corner. Now the big things that I could see you guys changing is like the look and feel. Some people don't like this dark background. So if you come here, you look for look and feel, you look for the theme, you could change that from dark to light and it'll change it to a white background instead. From here, you can also invert the colors for some reason if you wanted it to be red instead of green when the stock is going up, or green if it's going down. You could hit invert right here, and this is where you could change that. And you can also change your security settings. This can be a little bit frustrating. So for me, I changed it to Face ID. So anytime I place a trade, it's gonna have me authenticate my face to make sure it's really me placing the trade. And it's gonna auto lock me out of the platform after 5 minutes of not using it. So again, this is where all your settings can be accessed. From the More page, you can also access a calendar of all the upcoming events. So right now we're on June. If we wanted to look at June 24th tomorrow, we could see all of the events coming out tomorrow. Or if we scroll down, the green are all the companies that go ex-div tomorrow. So we would have need to bought these companies today to be entitled to all these dividends. From the More button, you can also switch to your paper money account if you wanted to access paper money. Now we're trading in a paper money account, so all of this is practice, none of your real money. And to go back, we just go to More, switch account, go back to live trading. Now what we covered today were all of the big tools on here. Obviously it's gonna take some practice to get the hang of it, but with the app, it's really what you see is what you get. Most of the tools, most of the functionality that a lot of people like is going to be on the actual desktop platforms, things like the scan tab, things like the risk profile page. You really need to go there if you want to access some of those advanced tools. But when you're on the go, this is obviously an amazing app to use. I definitely use it when I'm trading options and I'm away from my computer at home. Now, if you guys did miss anything, feel free to use those timestamps down below to go to a specific topic. And if there's anything I missed, please drop your questions down below. But we'll go ahead and end the video there, and I hope to catch you guys all on the next one.